What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, back with another NFL 2019 predictions video. In this video, I will give you my prediction for every NFL award winner in the 2019-2020 NFL season. Before I give you my top 3 candidates for every award, including the player that I believe will win the award, Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe to The Bottom Line View for more NFL prediction videos just like this, and comment below your opinion. Who do you see winning the MVP, the Offensive Rookie of the Year, the Coach of the Year? Who do you have winning every single NFL award in 2019? Let's kick off my award predictions with the rookies. The rookies are very fascinating this season because I don't really see any candidates at either the Offensive Rookie of the Year or the Defensive Rookie of the Year that there's one for sure guy that's going to win this award. I felt that way about the Offensive Rookie of the Year award last season with Saquon Barkley. It was pretty obvious, but this season, starting off with the Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's a little different because I do think there are a couple of running backs that are in my top 3 here. David Montgomery and Miles Sanders. And that's not even to mention that Josh Jacobs could also win this award. Why I have Sanders and Montgomery over Jacobs is I just believe that they're on better football teams. Montgomery's on the Bears, Sanders is on the Eagles. They'll both have opportunity to start. They are both very good in the passing game as receivers as well as runners. The guy that I believe is going to win the award is, I guess, the obvious pick. It's Kyler Murray. And no, I don't think the Cardinals are going to be a very good team. But when I think back to it, you don't necessarily need to be on a good team to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Saquon Barkley was not on a good team. Cam Newton was not on a good team. Just a couple to throw out there. I not only believe in his talent, but I also believe that he understands this offense. It's very rare that you see a college quarterback come into a situation where he already has deep understanding of the offensive scheme. He has chemistry, or at least a relationship previously with the head coach. And he has a relationship already built with his number 1 wide receiver, Christian Kirk. All 3 of those things are really positive for Kyler Murray's development as a rookie quarterback. But I also believe in the talent. Kyler Murray is a unique football player. He can run with the best of them. Incredible vision as a scrambler. He's great outside the pocket, throwing on the run with incredible touch and accuracy. He has a great arm, and I understand that the offensive line isn't very good. They're probably not going to be a very good team, but I believe Kyler Murray is going to put up good numbers, and that is enough, at least judging off the past, that you can win a Rookie of the Year award. So I am going with Kyler Murray to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. When we look at the defensive side of the football for the first-year NFL players, the rookies, I'm looking at 3 players. My top 3 candidates are Quinnen Williams of the Jets, Ed Oliver of the Buffalo Bills, but my winner is going to be Devin Bush of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which might be a little bit outside the box. Most people are probably going with Quinnen Williams. No doubt he's a monster. Ed Oliver is in a perfect situation, a perfect scheme to take advantage of what he does best inside Sean McDermott's Buffalo Bills defense. But I really like Devin Bush because, one, he plays for a premier NFL team, that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been searching for a linebacker like him ever since Shazier went down with injury, and Devin Bush can bring everything that Shazier brought. He can bring speed, he can bring fearlessness, he can bring athleticism to the linebacker position. He's very good in coverage. Bush is going to get a ton of tackles because this defensive scheme is built for that linebacker to just scoop up the garbage and just put it away. And that's exactly what Devin Bush is going to do. He's probably going to be in the top 10 at the very least in tackles. I think he's going to make plays as a blitzer, make plays as a cover guy. Bush is a playmaker. He's a gamer. I believe that he'll have a huge first season for the Steelers, and you will see his impact from game one on this football team and on this defense. That's why I'm picking him as the defensive rookie of the year. The offensive player of the year discussion is a little bit different in the real NFL awards. Typically, it actually does go to the same player as the MVP. But for me, I like to look at players that are not quarterbacks because the MVP in the NFL is a quarterback award. But for the offensive player of the year, I like to look at running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. I like to give my own criteria. My top three are Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, and Odell Beckham Jr. I really like all three of these players this season. I love the Panthers offense, and Christian McCaffrey is the centerpiece of that offense. I have said that I believe this offense can finish in the top 5 this year. McCaffrey should get, again, around 100 receptions. He'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. He might be an 1,000-yard receiver. He definitely has the chance to do so, and the Panthers could be a very good team this year. Odell Beckham Jr. could have his best season ever with Baker Mayfield, the best quarterback he's ever had, the best offensive supporting cast, the most creative offensive mind. Ultimately, I'm going with Saquon Barkley to win the Offensive Player of the Year award. And the reason being is Saquon Barkley could break the offensive touches in one single season record. Saquon Barkley is an incredible talent, but he's also going to be counted on more than any other offensive player on one single team. He is their best receiver, he is their best runner, he is their most explosive player, all in one. Saquon is a rare talent. He's the best running back in football right now. I like the Giants' offensive line. I do kind of think the Giants' offense is being a little bit slept on. And Saquon, I think, is just going to be near a 100-catch guy. He's going to probably put up 1,500 rushing yards. He's just going to have a fantastic season because he's such a special player. I believe we haven't seen a player like him with the lateral quickness, the strength, the balance, the speed combination since Barry Sanders. He's that good. Now, when you look at the Defensive Player of the Year conversation, there are many candidates. As you can see, I do not have Aaron Donald in this discussion because, one, I don't think the Rams are going to be quite the team they've been the last couple of seasons. I also don't think the Rams' defense is going to be very good. Now, Aaron Donald's going to be phenomenal. He'll probably be around 20 sacks again, but I think it's time for someone else to take this award. J.J. Watt could certainly be in the conversation for this award as well. He had a fantastic bounce-back season last year, but I don't see the Texans really being a great team this year. Von Miller is my third candidate here. I think with Vic Fangio coming over from Denver, it could be the season where Von Miller finally wins Defensive Player of the Year, something he hasn't put on his resume yet, his Hall of Fame resume. Certainly could do that in 2019. The Broncos defense looks to be an elite unit this season. And if Von Miller gets around 17-ish sacks, forced fumbles, makes plays for this Denver defense, and if Denver's better than people expect, he could certainly win this award. Myles Garrett is my second candidate, as Myles Garrett is just a monster, and I think this is his breakout season this year. He had a very good season last year, and by a couple reports, they said he was only allowed to use 2 pass rushing moves. Let this guy be free. Let this guy be creative in his pass rush, and he could do dangerous things. He's also had a great training camp, great preseason. So Myles Garrett could win this award this season, and he could also have a chance to lead the NFL in sacks, as his offense is going to be a lot more explosive and be in the lead a lot more. But my Defensive Player of the Year might be surprising. It's rare that a corner wins the Defensive Player of the Year. I believe the last one was Darrelle Revis. I could be wrong, but I believe that was the last corner to win this award. When you look at the Patriots, they're always a winning football team. And this season, more than any other, you could see the Patriots' defense being better than their offense, meaning that this will be a defensive-led football team under Bill Belichick in 2019. If it is that, and if the Patriots defense is elite, and it is in the top 5, and it is winning a lot of football games, then they're going to point to Stephon Gilmore, because one, he's the best player on this defense, and this defense is not led by its pass rush. It's led by its secondary. So Stephon Gilmore is going to get that Darrelle Revis type attention if he's shutting down top receivers week after week after week. And now that he has that media hype behind him, now that people have actually recognized that Stephon Gilmore is a top tier corner, he's going to get the attention in 2019. So my pick for Defensive Player of the Year is Stephon Gilmore, cornerback of the New England Patriots. The NFL Coach of the Year award typically goes to the coach that defies the odds, that overcomes the obstacles, a coach that comes out of nowhere. The obvious Coach of the Year to me, the guy that I'm picking, is Kyle Shanahan. He's been fantastic, even with really bad rosters, even with not a lot of talent on his football team. He's shown the promise. He's shown the reasons why people like myself and the media and other coaches and players around the NFL respect and really love Kyle Shanahan as an up-and-coming coach. One, he's an offensive coach, so he's going to get attention for that. If he brings the 49ers to a much better record, a near playoff record, or even into the playoffs, he's certainly going to win this award because his offense is going to play well. Most likely his quarterback's going to play well. He's shown that he can do a lot with a little when it comes to the offensive side of the football. So Kyle Shanahan, I do believe, is going to win the Coach of the Year in 2019, as I do believe the 49ers will take those positive steps forward, and Shanahan will show that he is one of the best young head coaches in football. Now, the other two candidates that I think are pretty intriguing as well is Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills and actually, surprisingly, Adam Gase of the New York Jets. Now, why I have these two is because I think both of these teams have a chance in the AFC to make a run and to gain a wild card spot in the AFC. Underneath the Patriots, the AFC East is wide open, and both of these teams, while they don't exactly have low expectations, they don't have high expectations either. I think there's promise for these teams, and there's some people that like these teams, but not everybody's on the bandwagon of these two teams. Now, a team like Cleveland, I think, is going to be given too much credit for their players and not enough to their coaching. So I'm going to go with these two AFC East guys as potentially candidates who can supplant Kyle Shanahan in the NFC from taking this award. But Adam Gase, if he shows the offensive expertise and really helps Sam Darnold break out, he could win this award. Or if Sean McDermott shows his great ability to coach the defensive side of the football in Buffalo, and Josh Allen can do some things on the offensive side of the ball, and the Bills are a surprising 8-8, 9-7 team, he could win this award. So now the Assistant Coach of the Year award is not typically you'll see a YouTuber predict this award because it's a kind of a lower award, but to me it's an important award. I think it's also a very interesting award because it shows you who the assistant coaches that are most important to their teams, because a lot of assistant coaches or coordinators don't get the credit because, let's say, the Rams offensive coordinator is not going to get credit because the Rams offense is made by Sean McVay. Bill Belichick's defensive coordinator is never going to win an Assistant Coach of the Year award. And that sort of thing. So if the head coach is known as a defensive guy, the defensive coach is never going to win the award. If the head coach is known as an offensive guy, the assistant coach is never going to win an award. But it's finding that opposite side of the football, that offensive coordinator with a defensive coach, or that defensive coordinator with an offensive coach. That's where you get the Assistant Coach of the Year. My pick is Don Martindale, the defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is an outside-the-box pick, but I do believe that Don Martindale, right there with Bill Belichick, one of the best defensive coaches in football. And I love what Martindale has been able to do with the talent in Baltimore. I don't think he was given the credit last year, but I think people are paying more attention this season, or at least going into this season. And when you look at the Ravens, they've lost a ton of talent defensively. And if he can somehow still make this defense a top 5 unit and the Ravens are playoff relevant at the end of the season, he could definitely win this award. Martindale's done a fantastic job with the secondary, with his blitz schemes, just doing different creative things on the defensive side of the football. If you're not already paying attention to what Martindale does, definitely pay attention. Outside of Don Martindale, the other two guys I have on my list are offensive coaches, and I believe will be given credit for their team's success if they make the playoffs or do something special in 2019. The first one's Norv Turner, an older name, a former head coach, but a guy that did fantastic things last season with Cam Newton in the Panthers offense. And if the Panthers are going to make the playoffs or do things in the NFC South, it's going to be because Cam Newton is there. He's playing very well. Christian McCaffrey's going off, and a lot of that credit should go to Norv Turner. So Norv Turner is an underrated candidate for this award. And then the other one is Kellen Moore. I think because he's in Dallas, a lot of people are expecting a jump from Dak Prescott, the whole Zeke situation, but the Cowboys are going to be a good team. He's an offensive coordinator that's new, that's fresh, that's, again, in Dallas, a big market with a lot of eyes on them. And if they're doing things that's different, that's interesting, that's producing, Kellen Moore could very well win this award. So those are my assistant coach of the year candidates. The comeback player of the year. There's quite a few players that you could put in this category. Now, I only really look at the guys that have been injured last season and come back and play very well. My award is going to Jimmy Garoppolo, and I do believe that Garoppolo is going to have a big season this year. I think he's going to lead the 49ers to the playoffs, and by sticking to what I predict for the team, I must go with Jimmy G having a good season. I don't think he's going to be like in the MVP conversation, but I do believe Jimmy G is going to have a 4,000 yard plus season. I think he's going to have like 28 to 30 touchdowns. I think he's going to fit perfectly into what Shanahan wants to do offensively. I think they're going to have a top 10 offense, and their team's going to be led by their offense. And Jimmy G, as the star that he is, a budding star in the NFL, if he can make things happen, all the media is going to love him and dig him. They already love Jimmy G, and he's basically done nothing yet. So imagine if he does do something. This is an easy award for him to win. The other candidates, especially because he's a quarterback, the other candidates are outside of the quarterback position. Cooper Kupp from the Rams, who I believe could have a big season this year, and Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry's the interesting one to me, because if he can score like 10 touchdowns for the Chargers, he could win this award, but I think the easy bet is to go with Jimmy Garoppolo. And the MVP award, I left it the best for the last. Pick here is going to be Carson Wentz. I made my bold prediction that Carson Wentz will be in the MVP conversation. I'm going all the way with that prediction. I'm saying Carson Wentz will win the MVP award. I've said the argument many times, but I'll say it again. He has a top 5 elite offensive line. He has a great play caller offensive coach in Doug Peterson. He has all the receiving talent in the world with Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar. The list goes on. Tight end talent with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. New running game. A team that's going to be at the top of the NFC and be very good. I think Carson Wentz, this is his season. Also, a lot of the NFL GMs, a lot of the people around the NFL do believe in Carson Wentz as the up-and-coming star at the quarterback position. So Wentz should have a massive 2019 and win this award. Now, the other two guys I have is Baker Mayfield, because he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns and he's going to have a lot of yards, and the Browns should be pretty good. And if that happens, Baker Mayfield's a media machine. He's going to get a lot of noise behind him, and he could win this award. The other guy is Ben Roethlisberger. I think if Ben Roethlisberger, without Le'Veon Bell, without Antonio Brown, has a great season and balls out, he could win this award. I'd actually suggest betting on Ben Roethlisberger for this award because he's a pretty good bet right now, and he's getting very good odds. So Ben Roethlisberger, if he shows true leadership, if he shows that he can still play, and he shows that he can lead a team with not as great talent, he's going to get a lot of the recognition when he really wasn't getting the recognition that he should have had in the past. Those are my NFL award predictions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe to The Bottom Line View for more NFL videos just like this. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. Peace out.